episode 4. Welcome back. We were just welcoming the traders. Here they come in the caravan, and they're making their way past the dead animal on the cart and into the depot. You can access the depot by pressing Q, and at this point we don't have a trade. We don't have a broker. So first things first, we have built some offices. We're going to assign some nobles. I think the offices will be helpful in that. So we need a bookkeeper. We have a miner who is an adequate record keeper. It's not necessary to have a skilled bookkeeper. They're going to learn pretty quickly because we're going to set them to make all counts accurate, which is going to keep them relatively busy. If they're not mining, they're going to be keeping books. The broker is going to be our appraiser, our expedition leader, and if you don't have an appraiser skill, you're not going to be able to value any of your goods until you've started trading and started to build up some skill. The manager is going to manage everything, and we've got an adequate organizer. You can see these guys have a red requirement. They need an office. So without further ado, we will, using Q, we'll go to the chair. We will make a room, same way we did the bedrooms, and assign the chair, the throne, the office to the nobles. You don't have to give your expedition leader an office if you don't want to. He'll be happy enough without one. But if he gets bigged up to mayor or something like that, he might need a bigger room. But that'll do for now. We don't have any beds spare. This is the outpost liaison. He'll come in and you can ask him to bring various goods next season. We won't bother with any of that because we're more interested in export. They tend to bring the things that we need to buy without too much problem. We've got a well-situated fort with lots of resources. If we didn't have sand or clay, we might be thinking about ordering some of that in case we have any strange moods. More of that later. Stray Horse has given birth to a horsefall. Here we go. We have a horsefall. We have kitten. So again, the fort is growing. We've got 10 residents. So we'll quit making wheelbarrows. We'll make a few more beds for those guys, and then what we can try and do early days, it's a favourite tactic, is to make wooden corkscrews, which are of quite high value, and we'll be able to sell some of those to the trader if we've got time. Now we've got a broker, we can ask him to trade at the depot using R. But we'll just wait until we've got some goods to sell. We may not have anything to sell this season, but we've got everything we need to be getting on with. If we can do some trade, it would be helpful. We can get a few bits and bobs in to help us along the way. It all depends on your fort and what you've got, what you've brought with you, what you need. It's quite easy to concentrate on building corkscrews early days and get a few of those put away, and then you've got something to sell. That's often the best method. Once you've got the food industry up, making food is quite a good thing to sell. Get some quite good values from prepared meals, especially the higher quality ones. But more of that to come. As you can see, the kittens are all running around, the cats are all running around. All these guys are just bringing stone to and fro. At the moment, they're bringing all the stone down to this one stone stockpile. So we need to sort that out. We've built some wheelbarrows, so we're going to build a stone. We're going to build a stone stockpile down here. And we're going to assign 5 wheelbarrows. onto this stone stockpile, which means that there'll be 5 wheelbarrows brought to the stockpile, and those 5 wheelbarrows will be used to do all the hauling jobs into that stone stockpile, which will make life a lot easier on these dwarves. They'll be able to move a lot faster. They won't use the wheelbarrows while they're moving these dumped items in the tunnels, but everything else will now get picked up by wheelbarrow. Apart from to this stone stockpile up here, we could remedy that by building another stockpile with wheelbarrows and having that feed into this one. We might as well do that. As with all these stockpiles, you see the wood stockpile is 3x3. 3x3 is like big enough, especially in the early days. Big stockpiles just they create a lot of hauling jobs, firstly, and secondly, they don't help frame rate, and they take up a lot of space. So it's brought 1 wheelbarrow. If we set that to 5, if there's 5 wheelbarrows available, it'll bring 5, and that'll leave 4 spaces in the stockpile for stone. So as long as there's stone in all the spaces, the hauling jobs will slow down. So it's maybe not the most efficient pile. This one down here will be a bit more efficient because it's a bit bigger. So as you see, the stone's being brought into the stockpile, and then what we're going to do is we're going to build some more track stops, much like with the infinite quantum stockpiling. We'll build this won't dump, so dump on arrival no, and then you just place the track stop. Don't have to change anything, and then we'll put another track stop at the top of the line. This one is going to dump. It's going to dump to the north, and it's going to dump into a stone stockpile. And that's going to become a big pile of stone. Again, no wheelbarrows, and press A to change that. It will take from links only, which means that well, it doesn't really matter actually. Pile of wood down here, and that's going to feed onto this wood line. We're going to get rid of this wood stockpile here, P and X, and then the carpenter will be able to take all his wood from this stockpile here. I'm going to put a couple of truck stops in. And again, this one will dump to the north. I believe you can change that after the stop's been built using Q. Okay, so we've got an inn down here. We're going to put a chest in here, and the chest is going to hold mugs. We don't want to build bags. Bags and chests are in the same menu. They're both containers. We're going to build a table. We've got 3 tables, 3 chairs. I think we might have some more built already. We do. And some tables. A table for every chair. And we'll have a nice little inn set up. So we'll create a meeting area, and we're going to allocate that as an inn. Meeting area, assign a location, allocate new location, inn, the Chestnut of Caves. So this is our first inn, possibly our last. We can extend this inn to give it a bit more space for dancing and singing and poetry. But for now, this will do really well. We can make it a meeting hall as well. I'm not sure exactly how this affects anything, but certainly you can give this assigned room to a dwarf, and if you find you have a noble who needs some special rooms, this is a good start. We'll make it a meeting hall H. Okay, so that will be probably the preferred place for people to hang out, and as you see, we already have a goblin swordsman visiting. We're going to set up these routes, and we need a route for the stone. And the first stop is here. It's going to be, it's going to go north immediately when it's full of desired items, but we're just going to get the dwarves to push it. So press P to change that to push, and we are going to delete the other two conditions. So basically, once it's full of stone, it's going to get pushed up this track, and it's going to take the stone from this pile here. Okay, and once we've done that, we can allocate a vehicle, and we're going to have a second stop at the top of. Oh, right, if we could delete that second stop. The second stop needs to be at the top here, S, and we need to look at. If you see, there's a little yellow exclamation mark. That's because it's asking us to guide north, and there is no track. So press D to change the direction. And again, we're going to ask them just to push this vehicle south when it's empty. So we change the condition from full to empty, and we then should have a working hauling line, working train track, right there. And the line has been cleared, so we shouldn't have any dwarves going up here. There is automatically a designation, route designation, which gives this a low traffic cost, which basically means dwarves aren't going to go down there unless they really need to. And if we want to, we can actually change that to a restricted traffic area, which will make it super safe. But we'll leave that low because dwarves will need to cross that area occasionally. There we go. So at some point, I hope these hauling lines will begin working. We need to create a route for the wood. And then we're going to push that north immediately, and we're going to take the wood from the stockpile, and we're going to use a vehicle. We're going to use a macadamian wood minecart, and then we're going to put another stop at the top, which is going to go south, and it's going to go when it's empty. And these are the two conditions. We don't need those. That's that one done. So hopefully this will be like a little working train route. Now, it's easily argued that this could be achieved with a whole bunch of wheelbarrows, probably be a little bit safer, but I like it, and it keeps things nice and ordered, and shows us how to use train tracks at least. So there we go, train tracks, hauling routes. I'm going to build some more bedrooms for our new confreres. I think there's 3 of them, and then we can start making nice the place. This is what we need basically to get started. Okay, right. Once we get some jewels, we're gonna set up a jewellery workshop. There is a bend on this track, which is easily achieved. All you do is you just designate that way, and then you designate that way, and it will put a bend in the track automatically. This is going to be our jewellery workshop, and then we'll put another shop in here, and away we go. Now, if you look at the visitors, we've got goblins, dwarves, more dwarves, a human. these guys are just visiting now. These are our first visitors, and when they leave, they'll tell people all about our inn, the chestnut of caves at Boardwalls. Boardwalls being the greatest fort known to dwarves in our continent. Well, we'll get in there anyway. Right, so once we've got things going and we've got some stockpiles set up, we'll get some gems in here. Gem stockpile. What we want to make sure is we've got no bins. We're not going to have any bins here, and we're only going to have rough gems. Like once they're being cut, they're going to be stored somewhere else. So we're going to forbid everything that's not a rough gem. So we'll have a pile of rough gems appearing here pretty quickly. Here we go. The dwarves know their stuff, and they'll just get on and do things. You just need to tell them what to do. Oh, look, there's a bunch of kids here. Oh, we've had a... Oh. Giving the farmer... We don't need to give the farmer that. Give the butcher that. And who'd have thought it? And another emigration wave. And it's episode 4. So we've only been playing for about just over an hour or so. And already we've got a reasonably well established fort. Let's see if we can do some trade. The traders have gone, and you know what? That's fine. Things have moved on nice and fast, which is what I wanted. We've been playing at double speed for the last episode or so, so things have gone a little bit quicker than you would expect. It is now late autumn, the 18th of Timber in the year 165. So it's our first year. I'm hoping we'll get a few years on this fort, but we'll have to wait and see. Come the spring, we may have some visitors. Pressing C, you can see the local civilizations and the elven forest to the north of us. I'm sure there'll be some goblins somewhere. So we're at peace with these dark goblin pit government, the Indigo Deceiver, the Hairy Hell. We can definitely make contact with these goblins who we're at peace with. If they don't attack us, which they're probably not going to attack us, we can raid them and we can bring them to us. But maybe, yeah, it might be peaceful for a little bit longer. We'll have to see. But other than invasions from the north, there are other sources of danger, and it's time to delve deeper. We're going to dig an up-down stairwell, and we're going to continue down until we meet a cavern layer. And once we've opened the cavern up, briefly, we will allow for underground plants to grow in our fort, which is helpful. We'll also start to attract monster killers, monster hunters who want to come and kill the beasts in the caverns, and as well as that, we will start to see more moods. When the dwarves will start to have moods, but we'll see more of that later on. But yeah, if we can dig down, hopefully we'll find some easy pickings as far as gems and that kind of thing. I don't know what the miners are up to at the moment. Oh, they're digging out over here. But yeah, not too much more to say in this video. I think we need to certainly stop building corkscrews and get on with some more beds for our new dwarves. Let's just check the pasture because we've had a new immigration wave. We may have some beasts, a donkey, Yeah. The foal has automatically been penned with its parents, and the same is true of kittens and I believe puppies as well. I don't know. I don't think we've had any puppies yet, but we can train these dogs up to be war dogs or hunting dogs, and that's something we'll do as soon as we've got an animal trainer. We're just creating an animal training zone out here outside of the pasture, and we'll do a little bit of that maybe in the next episode. Okay, thanks everybody. All you dwarves and that. Be happy and strike the earth and cheerio.